Hello friends, welcome back, and in this video we are going to see how to construct a binary tree from in-order and post-order traversals. So first of all, the interview will ask you, do you actually know what in-order and post-order means? So if you are doing this question, so you must be knowing that what is in-order. But for those who don't know, I will quickly explain what is in-order and post-order and how out of these two arrays you can build your final tree. So see, 9, 3, 15, 20 and 7. 9, 3, 15, 20 and 7. It is in order. Right. And post order array is 9, 15, 7, 20 and 3. 9, 15, 7, 20 and 3. So see, in order, what we have is something like this, like left part, node, and right part. Right. And in post order, we have something like this, left part, right part, left part, right part, and node. So actually, for starting to build our tree, we actually need a starting node, right? So to build a starting node, that we actually know that, okay, if we see the node, if we see the in order, so we are not sure that either 3, 15, 9, so any of this can be in the starting node, we are not sure. But if we see the post order, then we are pretty sure that the first node is the root node, or you can say the parent. So I'm pretty sure that my 3 is the parent. But now I'm in wonder that, okay, I know that some part of this would be right part and some part of this would be left part. But how to find the left part and how to find the right part? So what I will do is, I know that my 3 was the root node, right? And if I see that my root node, then everything on the left is left and everything on the right is right. So I will see that, okay, what is the location of this 3 in my in order? Then I will find my location of 3 in my in order. So first of all, the first thing which should strike your mind is that how will you find the location of this 3 in O of 1 in order? Because see, you actually know the 3 because you are iterating on the array of post order from right to left. So you should actually know in O of 1 that, okay, what should be the location of 3. So you will use the unordered map to check what is location of 3, and the map of 3, which means the unordered map of 3, will store the location, which means the index of this. So let me scroll it a bit. Yeah, so let me choose a marker again. Yeah, so you actually know that your p points here by this map. So let me erase this. So you actually know that your p points here. Okay, now you need to, now see, when you are iterating on this post order, so next you will land on this 20. So when you land on this, so first of all, you will have a function called to right part and to the left part. But you should actually know that, okay, where is my right part ending and where is my left part ending? So if I clearly say that my start is here, okay, my end is here, right? Or you can say left or right as you wish. So let me say it left or right. So I will say my left is here, my left is here, and my right is here. So I should actually know that where this thing is lying, because it might happen that it lies on the left part or it lies on the right part. So see, when I am on this next thing and the next element, and from the thing I know that my right part size, my right subtree size is 3, which means right minus p is my right subtree size. So I will leave the right minus p elements. Okay, these are right minus p number of elements. So first of all, I will have a root index here. So it will indicate the root index. Right minus p are the number of elements which are on the right part. So I will have a starting at this right, which means root index minus 1. Root index minus 1 is the root node of the right subtree, and after reducing my right minus p from this root index minus 1, I will land on to the root index of left subtree. So see, it is the main part of this problem, you should understand it again. to land on the root index of the left subtree. So let me erase it and I will show you again. So on erasing, let us erase this thing. Erase everything. So see, first of all, I know my root index. Okay, very fine. Now I also know what is the left subtree size, which is my left, starting from left ending at p minus 1. Now it is the search element, which is, it is the root element. Okay, for the right I also know, so my starting will be p plus 1, ending will be at right, and I should know the root index. Now to know the root index, I clearly know that for the right subtree my root index will be this, but I don't know for my left subtree what will be my root index. So but I clearly know that my right subtree size, it is, let me check, the recording is going fine. Okay, it is overloaded, so I hope that it should not have any issues. So see, my right subtree size, what it is, so my right subtree size, it is right minus p. Okay, so it is right minus p, which is actually 3. So I can clearly say that I will leave these number of elements, and the element on which I will land, it would be my left root. So my right root will be the next of this, which is root index minus 1. And to find out my, what I should say, left root, I will reduce these number of elements from this root index. So what I will do, I will first of all land on to root index minus 1. Then I will reduce these 3 elements, which means I will reduce this right minus p. So I will do root index minus 1 minus of right minus p. So I will land on to my left root. So I will just land on to my left root by writing root index minus 1 minus of right minus p, and thus I will have a function call to these two values. So it is the left subtree and it will make the right subtree. Understand? So to start off with, like, okay, I will have this function call in my helper function left and right, but from where I will start? So see, I know that for my starting I need first of all left part, right part, and root index. So for starting, my left is 0, my, because see, my left is 0, my right is this last index, which is in order dot size minus 1. Minus 1, it is my left, it is my right, and what is my root index? It is just root index. So I will start my function call with this. Then in my recursive function calls, I will first of all have a function call to the right part and to the left part. Okay, so I hope you guys must have understood it. So let's quickly write the code. And yeah, the base conditions, which is like if left is less than right, because see, if my left exceeds right, so I will just return null, because it is clearly sure, I am pretty sure that my answer will not be there. So I hope that you guys must have understood it. So let's quickly write the code. And yeah, you must be pretty sure that to find this location of p in my in order, I should use a unordered map to store the indexes of the element, right? Because I will be iterating on this post order, and to know the index of this post order element in my in order, I will use a map. So let's quickly write the code and we will be good to go. So before writing the code, as we all know that our interview will ask what is the space and time complexity of this problem. So see, space will be O of where is O? Yeah, O of n, because I'm using unordered map which will store the index of every element, and time complexity would be also O of n, because I'm just iterating on my post order from right to left once. So I guess it is the space in the time complexity for you guys. So let's look at the code. So first of all, I will have a global unordered map, tret, unordered map of what, int and int. So you might also ask that, okay sir, it might have same elements or the elements can be repeated. So as I know that I have to make a tree out of these two, so elements will be different, but still you can ask your interviewer. Then first of all, you have to fill this unordered map, right? So you will just iterate. So let me reduce the thing in order to in. But see, in interview, you should write the whole thing, which is in order or post order. So it make your code more readable. But here, I will just write the code. So let us iterate on our whole in order, and I will just have my map, and it will map to the index. Then I will return the root, and I will have a function called to the helper function. So I will pass my in order, I will pass my post order, I will pass my starting index, which is 0. I will pass my ending index, which is actually in order dot size minus 1, right? I will also pass my root index of my element, which is post dot size minus 1. So it is same which I showed you in the explanation. So let us quickly write the code. So it will return the root index, as I said, because see, I'm returning the root index. And in helper function, first of all, I will pass these two vectors. So let me, okay, so let me copy these two, because we will pass these by reference. Then we need to pass a left index, we need to pass a right index, and we need to also pass the root root index, right? Then the first base condition which strikes our mind is that if left is less than right, then I am like in like I have finished my work, so I will just return null. But if not, then first of all I will make my node, and for making a node I need the value. So for value I will check my POS of root index, because the POS of root index actually stores the value. Then the standard way of making a node is to use the default, like the made, as you can see, the made constructor of this function. So I will just pass the value, which is one of the constructors. And if I have passed the value, then I am pretty sure that I have my work done and I have my root. So next I need to have the call to the root right. So I will pass my helper function, and as I said that my in order and post order, it will remain same. My starting index would be p plus 1. So first of all, let's find the p. What is p? So p is actually the map value of this value. Then my ending would be what? My ending would be end, which means the right. And my root index, as I said, that it would shift by 1. So yeah, and then I also need to call to the left part, as you know that we call on the right and the left. So I will just do the same thing. The starting index would be left rather than p plus 1, because I am working on the left part now, but the right part will be p minus 1, because see, because we are actually on this, let me show you, we are actually on this p. So we will make a function called to left to p minus 1 and p plus 1 to right. Now what we need to pass is the thing which I showed you here. So I will pass root index minus 1 minus right minus p. So I will pass the root index minus 1 minus of right minus p. So it was the main part of this whole problem. So it was the main tricky part. So now I will just return, oh sorry, I will just return my node, and I hope that it should work now. So although I recorded the same problem previously, but it was having some runtime issues. So yeah, I had to record it again. So yeah, it says that node did not tree node start tree node. Okay, so I forgot to add a new here, because while making we use the new keyword for in C++. So let us run it again, and okay, so it says that tree node. Okay, I use tree e in excitement. I use one more e. So yeah, let us see again. Okay, so it is not returning anything. Why? So let me try to write this above. I hope it should work now. Okay, so it is having some error. It is returning null. So if left is more than right. Okay, what the hell? I did wrong. So if left is more than right, then I should do this. So yeah, my now answer is coming. So let us try to submit it. And yeah, it is accepted. So I hope that you guys have understood very what is the logic, that in we use left, that we use that in order we have left node and right, and post order we have left, right and node, and thus how we choose the index, that where we will land and how we will make it. So it's all for this video. And if you are watching, then please do hit the like button, because it, like, first of all, I was recording on my PC, but my audio went like in halfway. I don't know why the audio goes down, so I use my sister's laptop to record this. So yeah, that's all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.